Yeah, that'll do it. Yep, it's working. Uh-huh. Oh, good. Flowing like I wanted. Okay, good. Yeah, I think we got this about right. All right, now that I know that's working, let's get Pastor Steve, see if he knows. Hey, Pastor Steve! Pastor Steve, come here. I want to show you something. Come on, where are you, Pastor Steve? Come on, it's really cool. Let's see if I can make this work. That's so cool. Watch it go around. Hey, Pastor Steve.
Hey, are you calling me Al?
Hey, Pastor Steve.
Boy, where's he coming from? Al, I hear you. What can I do for you? You calling me, Al? Are you over here?
Pastor Steve. Pastor Steve.
Hey, oh, damn, there you are, Al. What do you want to show me? I was doing this cool thing with the coin in the other room.
Oh, yeah, I know how you like to watch coins go around in circles and any shiny things in general, yeah. Well, no, I wanted you to come see this because I got a Bible story question for you, and I thought maybe you could see if you could solve a riddle I got for you.
A riddle? Well, I'm intrigued. I mean, I kind of like puzzles, and at least I know a couple of Bible stories. Yeah, why are you going to give me a riddle about a Bible story in the kitchen, Al?
You'll see. Just come on over here, Pastor Steve. I want you to see this up close. Come on.
Okay, Al, here I am, up close. What is it you want me to see?
Well, I'm glad you're willing to play my game and try my riddle. I wanted to see, Pastor Steve, if you can tell the difference between this bottle of water here and this water here from the tap. What's the difference, Pastor Steve? You know?
Hold on, you mean the difference between this water coming out of the tap and this water here in the bottle?
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's part one of my riddle. What's the difference between the water over there that comes out of the tap and the water in the bottle that you got in your hands, Pastor Steve?
Huh. This water and this water, well, I mean, what comes to mind is how much they're the same. I mean, they're both clear.
Mm-hmm.
They're both, I mean, good for drinking when you're thirsty.
Mm-hmm.
They're, I mean, I took chemistry in high school, so I know that they're both H2O, hydrogen and oxygen. That's the way they're the same.
Yeah, you're doing a fine job at describing how these two kinds of water are the same, Pastor Steve. Well, thanks. But I'm asking, what is the important way that they're different? The water that comes out of there and the water that's there in your hand in the bottle.
Huh, how are they different? I guess I can only think of one thing.
Which is?
Well, I guess the one difference I can think of is this bottle will only hold so much. Like if I get a cup like this and open up the bottle and pour it out, that's a lot of water to drink all at once, but that now it's empty and that's as much as it's going to be. But the tap, it'll just keep flowing and I could drink one glass or another glass, or if I needed to water the flowers or something, I could keep going too. I guess that is that the answer to your riddle?
Way to go, Pastor Steve. You got part one of my riddle correct. Yep, all right. So part one, how is the bottle different from the faucet? You're right. The bottle has water and so does the faucet, but the bottle only has so much before it runs out. They're both water, but the bottle only has, I think it says 16.9 fluid ounces, so it's got that much, like about 1 pint of water. And the faucet, well, it'll keep going for as long as you need it to. It just keeps on flowing. That's part one of my riddle. Good job.
Well, that is reassuring, I guess, but hold on. Part one, now you're making me a little bit nervous. What's part two of your riddle? And Is this water going to be safe to drink for part 2? What's part 2 of the riddle, Al?
Okay, part 2 of the riddle then. You got it figured out how they're different, but which one of these, your glass of water over there from the bottle or this tap over here, which one is more like Jesus? Which one is more like Jesus? You heard me, don't stall.
Okay, let me make sure I understand. You're asking me which one of these two choices is more like Jesus? Either this empty bottle and the water that it provided in this cup, or the water that comes out of the faucet. Which one is more like Jesus?
You heard me, preacher. Come on, Pastor Steve. You're looking for clues, and I'm not going to give any. I'm just asking you. All right. If you got the faucet and the bottle of water you poured into the cup, which one is more like Jesus?
I think this is a trick question because Jesus isn't clear, and this water is clear, and this water is clear, and Jesus wasn't clear. Jesus, we think maybe looked something like this. Ha! It was a trick question because this is what I think Jesus looks like. He's not like any kind of water. Is that the right answer? Was this a trick question?
Nice try, Pastor Steve, but no, that was not the answer to the riddle. I really mean it. There's an important way that Jesus is more like one of these than the other. He's either more like the faucet or more like the bottle of water. And I don't mean that he looked like it or he was clear. We all know Jesus, an ordinary looking person like any one of us. And that's part of the amazing thing that in a human life, Jesus was also God's Son with us. But okay, got that part. Which of these two is more like Jesus? The water out of the bottle or the water from the faucet?
You're sure my plywood Jesus isn't the answer to your trick question? That he's not like any of your water over there? Oh, okay. Thank you, plywood Jesus. Okay, how is Jesus more like water from the faucet or water from the bottle? How is Jesus more like water from the faucet or more like water from the bottle?
Come on, Pastor Steve, we don't got all day. Give me your answer. Come on, time's running out. Do I have to sing the Jeopardy theme song? Do 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 do.
Funny, Al. I don't know why there's a rush in my answer, but fine. The day is running out. Time is running out. Oh, you were giving me a clue after all, weren't you? Al, running out. That's the clue about the difference between the water from the bottle and the water from the tap. That's the difference, isn't it? The water from the bottle, there's only so much. I could try and pour it back in here, maybe. But I still only have one bottle's worth, and it'll just pour out, and eventually it's all gone. But the water out of the faucet doesn't run out, does it? It keeps flowing because it's fed from the pipes, which are fed from the well, which are fed from the spring, which come from the groundwater underneath. We keep having water, but the bottle runs out. Is that the difference? And because Jesus doesn't run out, does he? There's never like a shortage of Jesus, that the life he gives us isn't like exactly 1.05 pints or 16.9 fluid ounces. Jesus keeps flowing and never runs dry. Is that the answer to your riddle?
Ding, 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 ding. We have a winner. You're right, Pastor Steve. Yeah, the thing I wanted to see if you knew was that Jesus, his ability to give us life and love from God never runs out. It's more like the water from the faucet, water from a spring that never runs dry, but the other water runs out once you pour it out once, right? That's the difference between Jesus' kind of life and love that never run dry and the kind that comes from the bottle that just pours once and then it's all out.
Well then, that makes me think I've got a riddle for you, Al.
Hmm?
Yeah, I do. Don't give me that look. Okay, here's my riddle for you. If you're right, and Jesus is more like the flowing water from a faucet than a bottle that runs out, what difference does it make? Like, so what? Like, why does it matter that Jesus doesn't run out of love and keeps flowing like a faucet rather than a bottle that just pours out once? What difference does it make? Can you answer my riddle, Al?
Oh, that's a good one, Pastor Steve. Yeah, I like that riddle. Okay, so what difference does it make that Jesus' love never runs out like water from a faucet or a spring underground rather than running out like a water that comes from a bottle? You know what? This actually makes me think of this week's Bible story, as a matter of fact.
Really? Makes you think of this week's Bible story? Okay, I'm game. Tell me about it, because I don't remember any Bible stories that have bottles of water or faucets. They hadn't even invented indoor plumbing, Al.
Well, yeah, that's true, Pastor Steve. I know they didn't have faucets or running water or indoor plumbing back in Bible times, but before you get too full of yourself, you know, we didn't have running water here up at this church here just a few years ago anyway. So, but no, the Bible story today has a time when Jesus, he crossed into a foreign territory to another country full of people called Samaritans. It was a region called Samaria, so people who were from there were called Samaritans. Duh, right? Anyway, so he goes and he goes to a well, which is like this hole in the ground that there was water in that people would fill up their buckets or their vases or their jars to get water from. And Jesus meets this woman there, and she's there to get water. You know, fill up her bucket, fill up her bottle or whatever, so that she'll have water to cook or drink or whatever she needs it for, right? So she comes and she starts talking up to Jesus, when Jesus actually starts a conversation, and she's kind of surprised that he's willing to even talk with her, because a lot of people would have said, "You're a foreigner, you're different, I don't want to talk to you because you're different." But Jesus, he's not like that. Jesus just comes right up to her and treats her like anybody, like she's somebody made in the image of God and loved by God just as she is. So he comes up to her, asks her for a drink, and she says, "Whoa, why are you talking to me? Because I didn't think you would even want to be my friend at all." And Jesus says something amazing.
Oh yeah, he does say something totally amazing to this woman in the Bible story. What is it? How about you say it to see if you know? You tell me, Al.
Well, Jesus says to her, "Well, excuse me, ma'am, but if you understood who it was who was talking to you, you'd be asking me for water that I could give you, because I've got running water, living water that'll never run out." And she thinks Jesus is talking like having like his own actual big tub of water somewhere. Jesus is talking about the kind of life that he gives. And he says to her, the difference between me and the jar you come to bring to get your water with is that I won't run out. My kind of love, my kind of life that I give from God never runs out. And because it never runs out, we don't have to be afraid of sharing it with everybody. See, that was the difference. Everybody else was so afraid of talking to people who were different. "Oh, you're different. Yeah, I don't want to share with you. You're not like me, so I don't want to share with you. There might not be enough." But Jesus' kind of life, since it never runs out, we don't have to be afraid of sharing. God's love is for everybody, and there's enough for everybody and more, because it never runs out. I think that's the answer to your riddle, Pastor Steve.
Oh, you got it, Al. And I didn't even have a chance to sing the Jeopardy theme music. You're right, the difference, because Jesus' kind of love from God never runs out like water from a faucet, means that we don't ever have to be afraid or limited to who we share it with. Sure, if you've just got a bottle of water and you've only got so much, you might be worried about, oh, is there enough to go around? Oh, maybe I should only keep it for me, or there's only so much to share with you. But if we've got water flowing from the faucet, that's not going to run out. There's enough for anybody who's thirsty. And if that's how Jesus' love works, and you're right, that's exactly what he says in our Bible story for today, that Jesus' love never runs out. It's like water that keeps flowing rather than water out of a bottle or a jar or even from a well that could run dry. Jesus' kind of love never runs out, so we always can share it with anybody. People who are like me, people who are different from me, people who live near me, people who live far away, people who look like me, people who are different from me. Just like Jesus crosses a whole bunch of boundaries to talk to this woman that everybody else would have said, you're a foreigner, you shouldn't talk to her, Jesus, or she's a woman and you're not allowed to talk to her, Jesus. Jesus doesn't care. Boys, girls, foreign, people who are like him. Jesus says God's love keeps flowing because it's for everybody, and there's enough. Good job solving my riddle, Al.
Well, thanks, Pastor Steve. If I do say so myself, you did a pretty good job with the riddles I gave to you. In fact, all this talking and thinking and puzzling made me thirsty. You feel like a drink? I got access to a faucet, so I know it won't run out.
Well, yeah, Al, that sounds pretty good, actually. If I do say so myself, I think I'll have some water. Definitely there's enough to go around. Cheers!